Wow, 20 editions of our SCP list. Who would have thunk? We've seen all sorts of crazy SCPs in the days gone by. Horses at terminal velocity, bugs that cause more trouble than they're worth, angry, dangerous humanoids in all flavors, and more. And to think we haven't even scratched the surface. By the end of this episode, we'll have listed 100 SCPs, which when measured against a total of somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000, doesn't seem like all that much. But hey, we shouldn't be counting the monsters that we've taken a look at, we should be counting the friends we've made, and sometimes lost, along the way. Hello horror heads, and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host, Keegan Hughes, and today we're going to be counting down the top 5 scary SCP monsters that can never escape, part 20. So buckle up and maybe put a helmet on, because you never know what's lurking right around the corner. Before we get going, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more cranium cramping creatures. Outrageous, let's begin. Kicking us off at number 5, we've got SCP-4458. Sharks. Love them or hate them, you gotta admit they're pretty wicked. Underwater killing machines with dead eyes and a need to constantly swim forwards, these big fish are a force to be reckoned with. It makes sense that there are countless shark movies floating around out there, with a week of dedicated programming on the Discovery Channel to boot. By and large, folks have a relatively good handle on how to deal with sharks though. There might be an accident or two from time to time, but we've mitigated shark danger pretty much entirely. Too bad this shark has the perfect way to increase shark-based fatalities. 4458 is a great white shark that can change its size at will. It's been measured from 10 nanometers to a full 14 meters long. Sure, it might not be so dangerous at nano levels, but as a tiny shark, 4458 can get to places that full-size predators cannot. It's super hostile towards humans too. This size-shifting shark will actively seek people out in their homes. There have been multiple reports of it entering households through water faucets after shrinking down to smaller size, and then growing to full size once indoors. Imagine taking a shower and then all of a sudden a great white materializes from your faucet. You'd be experiencing the inside of a fish belly in an instant. Once 4458 devours its prey, it will return to a smaller size and exit the way it came in. Sometimes, though, the entrance method is no longer viable. No worries for this aquatic attacker, though. It has a backup plan. If it can't find a way out immediately, it will often open toilet seats or turn on showers using its abilities before making an escape. The shark was captured by the Foundation around 2 years ago and has been in containment since. Oddly enough, it hasn't eaten a single thing since being contained. Some think it doesn't need food and just ate humans for fun. Others think it was able to find another source of nourishment. Coming in at number 4, we've got SCP-426. I am a toaster. Well, not me specifically, but supposedly this SCP makes anyone who mentions it speak about it in the first person. Nobody's been able to read or speak about it in the third person, so its containment procedures read like a personal anecdote from your favorite sentient kitchenware. The self-referential writing is only the beginning when it comes to 426's anomalous qualities. These anomalies were first discovered by the original owners of the toaster, who had received it as a wedding gift. If anyone remains in close proximity with it for more than 2 months, they begin to legitimately identify as a toaster. It's all fun and games at first, but folks always seem to take it too far. It's very rare that someone does not accidentally harm or kill themselves in an attempt to act like a bread braiser. The Foundation discovered 426 in the home of the original owners, who had all died gruesome deaths. One person perished due to electric discharge given off by a socket. They had been trying to eat it. Another died as a result of their stomach rupturing. They had been eating bread nonstop for hours. A third left our worldly plane after attempting an unnameable act with the implement, resulting in severe blood loss. There was only one survivor of this house of toasted bread, but they were extremely malnourished. They had inserted a piece of bread a week ago and were waiting for it to pop out. Something wrong with the spring mechanism, I suppose. The Foundation has been testing the effects on D-class subjects with similar results. So even if you get a little snacky, maybe stick to the microwave fare for a while. Coming in at number 3, we've got SCP-2315. As most of us know, we should probably call our mothers more. It's a busy world out there, we've got lots to do. But if you're lucky, your mom loves and supports you in whatever you do. Sometimes these phone calls can be tricky to navigate though, especially if they're coming from an untraceable source that sounds exactly like our mother but isn't. 2315 is a seemingly ordinary iPhone 6, no lock code, no password. It will function normally until placed in a room with a person under 30 whose mother is still alive. At this point, the phone will ring and the caller ID will display mother. If a sub-30 mother haver answers, they'll hear a voice that sounds exactly like their mom's. They're able to converse freely with the other mother. Certain subjects will then get more phone calls at a rate of 1 per day. Uneasiness will increase with each call. The first call will be uneventful, with the mother thing being disapproving but supportive. The second call will involve the mom 2.0 talking about distressing topics and becoming more hostile throughout the call. Third call will always be hostile and aggressive, with yelling, screaming, and requests that the subject perform dangerous activities. This will continue until the subject hangs up or expires, and the latter is more likely than you think. Mothers can be very persuasive. At one point, this character encouraged a subject to draw pentagrams in his own blood until he died. Nobody's quite sure what the goal is at this point. Is it devil-ridden? Infovorous? Simply sadistic? Coming at number 2, we've got SCP-4349. Some good old Dr. Fungus. Wait, let me explain. This is a fungus that infects humans and affects their brain function. Usually it'll alter brains in areas associated with memory and personality. There are 3 stages to this alteration and a 4th that comes and goes. Stage 1 happens around 3 days after infection. It presents itself as a mild fungal infection with symptoms like headaches, nausea, and avoidance of light. Next up is stage 2, which lasts for a couple days after stage 1, where these symptoms disappear and the infection appears to clear up naturally. Then stage 3 begins. The infected individual will start to forget their identity, replacing traits with qualities and mannerisms taken from famous doctors in film and television. If you watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy, you might channel like Dreamy, and if you prefer your doctors with a limp, you might find yourself acting like Dr. House. Infected folks also become active biohazards. At this point, they'll seek out a medical facility and start working as if they'd been employed there for a while, impersonating medical professionals. What a fungus. The fake doctors will start to steal medical equipment and take patients in order to keep up the facade as well. However, their medical knowledge will be no greater than it was before the infection, so they don't often provide effective treatment. Spores are emitted in low dosages at this point, causing mild psychological effects in folks nearby. Thanks to this, nobody seems to question the very questionable quacks. Stage 4 is known as the diagnostic phase, where our fungus friends will fixate on a particular patient. They'll run all sorts of random tests on them while emitting a larger volume of spores. This special patient might be cured and they might not. If they survive, they'll be infected by the spores and become a Dr. Fungus themselves. And if they don't, they die. Either way, the good doctor will then return to stage 3 until they find their next special patient. And finally, at number 1, we've got SCP-3402. This is a very strange phenomenon you probably don't want to get caught up in. See, sometimes a bunch of humanoids will appear in Upper Louisiana. Each one appears to be an average young white-collar worker, business suits, leather shoes, the works. Most folks would want to avoid these dudes anyway, but it's especially important in this case. They'll follow the road they materialize on, looking for a way to leave, like a gate or a gap in the fence. If they're successful in finding this diversion, they'll walk along for another 3 kilometers or so. Once they're done traveling, they'll begin tearing strips of flesh off each other using their teeth and fingernails. This appears to be very painful, but they don't ever attempt to defend themselves. Once fatal damage has been inflicted, they will ignite and burn up, often causing a chain reaction between all of them. If any non-anomalous humans fit the white-collar profile, they'll usually feel compelled to join in. And you don't even need a white collar if you witness the final stage of this strange ceremony. Laying eyes on the stripping of flesh means that you've just been selected to have your skin removed. So if you scope any business bros strolling the back roads in Louisiana, get the heck out of Dodge. 100. Seems like a lot, doesn't it? Well, here's to 100 more. What's your favorite SCP? Got any suggestions for further Foundation fun? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more holistic ones from the top 5 scary demon games you should never play. Jason Oshman says, so wait, I'm trying to understand why some folks would actually do this. Well, most folks get cocky and want to prove it all wrong, and then they summon a demon and become the first person to die in a movie. Rebecca Chun says, stare into the darkness until 4:34 a.m. Dude, that is every day. I mean, you're playing demon games with pomp and circumstance. Sean Steele says all these games seem like, ugh, such a chore. I don't know if I've ever heard of a quick and easy ritual, but hey, maybe you can summon some low-tier demons by playing less intensive games. Lydia Selden says, hypothetically, if you did these and no entities responded, what could I do to help it succeed? More blood. Always more blood. And Robert Boy says, a game that you should never play is Uno. You will deal with lots of hardships if you play it. Yeah, Uno is one of those games that people walk away from totally changed, usually for the worse. That's all the time we have for today. Before I take in a free screening at the Metropole, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more monster mashing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Jason Oshman says, so wait, I'm trying to understand why someone would actually do this. Well, I mean, most folks who do get cocky and want to prove it all wrong, and then they summon a demon and become the first person to die in the movie. And the hose is running, so I'll probably do that one again. More blood. Always more blood. Really?